Most people can't guard anybody one-on-one. The rules are different now, but when we played.
But you got to be able to talk to your guards that this guy's open, rotate over.
Any pick and roll, we're trapping.
We don't let this ball come into here. We're not letting him come into here.
You need to recognize when you're not on the ball, where do your teammates need help at?
You would know right when you can't throw it. As soon as they're cutting, 5 would have a clear out to go with her right hand right behind it.
Hello, I'm your host, Tim Gray, Associate Head Men's Basketball Coach at Spalding University. Today's guest,
University of Louisville Women's Associate Head Basketball Coach Stephanie Norman.
Spalding University Head Men's Basketball Coach Kevin Gray, and former University of Tennessee Head Men's Basketball Coach Wade Houston. All right, Coach, so what we're going to do right now, we're going to talk on the board. We're going to talk about a few things, and one of the things I wanted you to talk with us about is, let's talk about offense. So let's talk about the nature of a spread offense that you would look to run to really look for dribble penetration to open up the defense and create, dribble penetration for your team. What you got for me?
Well, I'm going to go over a couple 1-4 high sets today. If you want, in essence, a true dribble drive, that's going to be kind of a 1-4 out. But we like to run these two particular sets to open the floor up and give our posts a chance to work. Our first set that I'm going to go over today is called 41. And we run this play. It's probably been a religion for us, to be honest with you. We've done it since day one for 15 years. So how this play starts is a 1-4 high. Your two posts are in. We're going to do a pass into our 4 player. And typically our 1, as she enters this, is going to dribble over here just a little bit to get her defender leaning that way a little bit, and then she's going to come back and enter this pass to the 4. When this happens, what's going to happen is 1 is going to cut off. The first option is if 4 can hand off to 1 for a layup, great, all good. So 1's going to make this cut in here. At the same time, 3 is integral out here because she needs to be yelling for the ball as a decoy, because what we don't want is 3's defender in here clogging all this stuff up. So just because she's not really in the primary action, she has an active role, or he, to make it look like the play is going to her. So when 1 comes off, 4's now got the basketball. 1 is going to work her way up here because she's going to set a diagonal screen. But while that happens, 4 is then going to take the ball and dribble handoff. We call it 2, maximum 3 dribbles. While 4 comes here, 5 is going to loop around from behind and occupy this spot over here. Okay, so 4 has the ball. She's going to come here. 2 is going to come here and dribble handoff with the 4 player. So as we move down here, we are going to have 2 with the ball. Okay, 4 has just handed off, so I'm gonna put her there. Okay, 1 is now setting this diagonal screen, and she's gonna set it for 4. 5's job, while she did this circle cut, is right here, is now going to come over and set an on-ball screen. Okay, so 2 is going to come off this on-ball, and her first option is to look for her pull-up jumper, because oftentimes these guys won't either hedge or they'll switch, but 2's first job is to come off the screen and look for that. 3, who is over here, is now going to fade to the corner. Okay, and then when 2 comes off this, 1 is going to set this back screen, and it's going to be 4, who just handed the ball off, is going to come around. So this is a timing play. 2 has to come off this screen hard, and she got to look right in here to the 4 for that particular shot. So everything is about rhythm and timing. Okay, now we're going to move into another frame. So you're going to have to cut this, because I don't have another diagram up here, and you can come up here. Okay, so I got 4 down here. We got 5 setting this ball screen. 1's down here. She's gonna set that pick. 3's gonna come here. She's gonna go over here. And then what do I got here? Where's my 2? 2 came over here. She's looking for a shot. All right. All right, so after this action happens here and 2 comes off this ball screen, 2 is going to be here, and obviously she was looking for the 4, so 4 continues to post up. 5 then, our next option, after 2 and after looking for 4, after 5 sets this ball screen, she's going to turn around and set a pin down for 1, who's going to come up here and look for this pin down screen. Then we're going to make this pass across to 1, so that, she can hit that pin down. 3 is going to clear this side out. And it's really important that we don't lose ourselves in not worrying about 3. Because of this clear out, after she passes across, 4 is then going to come out and set a fade screen 4-2. And so 1 has that skip pass there to 2, or she can come back to the strong side 3 and work a triangle over on this side because you have 3 here and you have 5 that's coming there. Okay, so after the fade screen happens, if she doesn't like either of her options and she can't get it to the 2 coming off the fade or the 3 in the corner, then 4 simply continues her screen and comes over for 1, and then 1 comes off that, and it's a roll and a rise. So that is the completion of 41. A lot of moving parts, I know, but this gives a lot of different players options to score.
Well, I like this play because you got the ball screen and you got a slice screen. And naturally, it's kind of hard for the defense to really react to when you got the ball screen and that slice screen happening.
Yes.
And that post-entry pass right here, that's a tough thing to really guard.
Yes, and what happens oftentimes is this guard will stay to help on this post.
Yeah.
So her rule might be to chuck because it's very difficult for this 4 to get around that screen. So the reason we have the pin down at the end then, because if 1 is chucking on this, then 1 should be open on when 5 goes to pin down, because 1's defender is probably in here helping till 4 can make a recovery to get that back. And then when 1 catches it, obviously we're looking, she has an opportunity to shoot. But then she then is going to get, there's a fade screen happening on the back, and then an additional ball screen for 1 to finish off the play.
So that's a tough screen to screen her action, especially with that tight window, because that opportunity for there, she's got to help. She's got to help, and then this really is a good opportunity for a jump shot right there.
Yes, and I will tell you, we'll sneak in this one the first time, but typically we don't get it twice.
Yeah, because everybody knows.
Because then they figure it out, and they're like, oh, we're going to stop this by chucking our 1 and chucking that cutter. Well, then that's when we get the 5 pin down to the 1 for that nice little short jumper there. Or you can extend, if you have a point guard that's a 3-point shooter, you can bring her out to the 3 and knock that down.
So again, we get the screen and roll action out of it. A little bit more activity, a little different. Different guys are handling the ball. And the key to this thing is that you got more than 1 and 2 guys handling the ball off the dribble, attacking and doing some different things. And that's the key. You want to have multiple guys that can do multiple things, and as far as shooting from the perimeter, putting the ball on the floor, getting to the rim, and then being able to set good actions. And that's what you want to try to get out of it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Scouting Report basketball class.
Okay, what is Scouting Report, which I just discussed? It's an opportunity for coaches to come in here and learn about the craft.
This is a great venue to learn about coaching. People who join the class will have a chance to learn about themselves, what it takes to be a coach, X's and O's, offensive and defensive concepts, and other variables that take place around the game of basketball. This is a chance to meet and network with individuals such as yourself to create an atmosphere of learning and development. To sign up for the class, please contact the information on the screen. All right, Coach, now let's talk about another deviation of an offense, of something that you would once again like to do to space out, because the concept of basketball now has been so open and everybody opening up the floor. Let's talk about another offense that you would look to probably want to open up the offense so you can get some dribble penetration.
A second kind of continuity we run with plays inside of it is what we call motion drive. You know, it's movement with motion, and then we're looking to try to drive out of it as well. And let's look at how we would try to create some scenarios out of this. One is that what we're going to do is we come down the floor, if we're moving the ball, and let's just say that we come down the floor, and then 4 goes and screens for 3. 3 comes up the floor, and now 1 delivers it right here. Then we'll exchange out of it and go here. Again, now we're looking for drive opportunities out of the screens. Out of these screens as well, we'll do some things like we will curl and pop. Like he'll come off, he thinks his man is trailing him, he'll curl. Now this guy will pop, and then we'll play out of that and we'll try to get some drive. The 5 man in this offense is going to try to stay as best he can opposite the ball. So if the ball's here, he's going to move here. If the ball's on this side, now he will move back. So he will move opposite the ball, trying to create dribble lanes to get to the basket. And it's just really a good offense when you're really looking to try to move the defense, get them out of position, and then now attack them with the dribble. In particular, if you got 4 real good perimeter players, maybe a guy that can post up inside, this is really a good scenario where you can, again, attack with the dribble, you can catch and shoot out of it, as well as dump to the post, and then get good movement from an offensive standpoint.
Okay. So now within the body of this, okay, after you've done that and you feel that, you know, you might want to put another premise in it, okay, because they passed and exchanged, passed and screen away and done those activities, the curls, the pops. What would be something else you would do within the body. Of
Okay.
that.
We also, out of this motion drive, we go motion drive high and low. Let's go motion drive low. And it has a couple scenarios to it, and it has it's more free flowing for the guys. They decide when they do what they do, but here's some of the actions we'll get out of this. One is we'll go dribble handoff with a quick ball screen. So he dribble hands off, 2 receives the ball, and 5 immediately goes into a ball screen. From there, we get the same action like we did in regular. Again, we're going ball screening. He will come off the dribble drive. Also, we're trying to attack the lane. The key here is that dribbler, whenever we're running our dribble actions and our screen and roll actions, we try to get the guy with the ball, the dribbler, to understand he wants to punch it into the lane, get his feet into the lane. And then 5 rolls to the rim, and now we got the guy to hand it off, lifts behind, so if he wants to throw back. On the opposite side, well, again, we're spacing, 3's in the corner, and then we go from there. And now we got dribble penetration. If his man help, he will move. If his man help, he will move, and we're trying to get to the open spots and get shots. So this is one action we run. It's a quick hit action. It's a 1 dribble handoff ball screen, and then we get into it from that scenario, which is really effective. It's quick. The guys can see it coming, and it's pretty effective.
Okay. And what's another form? What's another one?
Another one we can do is we can go a little bit more to it. What we'll do is let's say 5 here. What we'll do is, let's say we ball screen it here. We'll come off the ball screen. He'll pop. We will throw back now to the ball screen. Again, once we throw back, he now dribble hands off, and we go right into it from there. So again, we get the screen and roll action out of it. A little bit more activity, a little different. Different guys are handling the ball. And the key to this thing is that you got more than 1 and 2 guys handling the ball off the dribble, attacking and doing some different things. And that's the key. You want to have multiple guys that can do multiple things, and as far as shooting from the perimeter, putting the ball on the floor, getting to the rim, and then being able to set good actions. And that's what you want to try to get out of it. Another scenario that we can go out of this with is this. You can go, same kind of set, same kind of movements. You're getting the same kind of movements out of this thing, which is important. But what you now can do is really make it, you really can go quick with this one. So again, you do the same thing. You go ball screen it, you come off, you got the 5 inside. Now, instead of dribble handing off, you throw, and now you go ball screen it once, 5-man comes into it, and ball screens it a second time. So that's not a dribble handoff. Now we're putting ball screens into this same action. Now we come off of it. The 1-man pops and curls behind. The 5-man rolls to the basket, if you can see what I'm saying. And now we got the same action, which gives you different things. And they learn as we practice. We do drills with this one. We do 2-on-2 drills, 3-on-3 drills, 4-on-4 drills. We're trying to get good action, good spacing, and reading the situation as we develop this offense.
I hope y'all understand this is the type of conversations we have almost every day. So this is my father-son type thing. This is what we do. We're talking about basketball all the time. So now, is there a notion for a middle ball screen within the motion?
Absolutely. There is definitely an action, and that's a little bit of what we call motion high. And our guys really like this because it really puts them in a scenario where they're getting a little bit more downhill. So what we'll do is, let's just say that we go just to shorten this down a little bit. 5-man's about mid-post. Let's say you got the 2 here, the 3 here. What we'll do is and it's keyed by a high dribble handoff. So let's just say that 1 has it, and he passes it and screens away for 2. 2 comes up. Right here is we're ready to get, just to make this a little quicker, and it's a little bit more to it than this, but the basis of it is this. As 4 has it, 1 screens for 2. As 4 comes to dribble, handoff to 2. 2 catches it, and 5 now comes and screens for 2. So what ends up happening is, as 4 hands off, 2 has it here, 1's in the corner, 4 hands off and moves to the corner, 1 lifts, 5 now peels and screens, and you have 3 in an ISO corner. So now as he comes off, he's got the roll guy, he has the lane to drive, and he has a corner shooter set to take the shot if his man tries to help.
At the point you're watching this and you see that he's getting stuck or this guy does a great defensive job, so now we're screening down on these guys and we're curling off of this for jump shots.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Scouting Report basketball class.
Okay, what is Scouting Report, which I just discussed? It's an opportunity for coaches to come in here and learn about the craft.
This is a great venue to learn about coaching. People who join the class will have a chance to learn about themselves, what it takes to be a coach, X's and O's, offensive and defensive concepts, and other variables that take place around the game of basketball. This is a chance to meet and network with individuals such as yourself to create an atmosphere of learning and development. To sign up for the class, please contact the information on the screen. So what we're going to do now is we're going to talk and discuss the concepts of philosophy and strategies that you probably ran and dealt with when you was at U of L as assistant coach for Crum. The first thing we want to talk about is the type of offensive success that y'all ran right there when you was at U of L. Could you maybe draw up some plays that your philosophies and concepts that y'all had and what plays y'all maybe ran back then as assistant coach?
Sure. And I do this with the understanding that we ran the UCLA high post offense, which Coach Crum had run at UCLA under Coach Wooden, and we tweaked it quite a bit based on the players that we had. Yeah. But our offense was predominantly designed around big guards.
Okay, quick question. With you saying that, name some of the guards that y'all had, some of the guards that y'all, so you can have an understanding.
Yeah, well, before I got to U of L, Coach Crum had Junior Bridgman and Alan Murphy, who were 2 of the best in the country in '75. Lost to UCLA in '75. When Terry Howard, I think, had made 35 straight free throws, and he missed one against UCLA and Richard Washington and that group of guys. But then you had Darrell Griffith and you had Milt Wagner, Lancaster Gordon.
We're talking about guys about 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, 6'4", 6'5". Jerome Harmon, LeBradford Smith. So our offense was predicated on having big guards, and again, a reason for that is that we fought hard against the Kentuckys and Indianas and the Notre Dames on getting the 7-foot centers. So we just found that what we had success with was getting 6'7", 6'8" guys who were interchangeable. You know, Charles Jones, Scooter McCrae, Rodney McCrae, Billy Thompson, Herb Crook.
Guys that are versatile.
Versatile, athletic. And, we could go to Mississippi, go to Alabama, or even here in Louisville, Tony Kimbrough and Manuel Forrest, and get guys that were versatile and just really good players. And we could recruit those guys because they wanted to come. So now when you start recruiting the 7-footers, the Bowies and the Kent Bensons and the Melvin Turpins, oh man, I mean that's a challenge because you got everybody in there and recruiting them, and I mean it's just all so hectic. So we go to Scuba, Mississippi, and find Charles Jones, 6'7", 6'8", jump out of the gym, could do the things we wanted, wanted to come, wanted to be here, and we had more success that way. So in the '80s, I mean that's what we did. So, but back to the original question on the philosophy and strategy. In the high post offense, the first thing we're trying to do, well, 2 things. We're trying to find a high post center, who's a good enough passer that can make the correct pass and make the correct decision to one of our big guards who's cutting. So we're setting up in our high post offense. So we're having the 1 and 2 running from a 2-guard front. And if the ball is here on this side, then we got our 5 guy who's our post guy, and then we got our 3 on the wing, and then our 4 on the opposite wing. And we always had different things that we practiced every day in the getting into this set. Like we run what we call up, out, and back door. So this 3 would come, he would start a little lower. So now, because people try to overplay this first pass. So we're saying, okay, you got to come up and pin this defensive guy in this position. And now you got to come out. If he fights over on the defensive side, then you're going back door. So we run this triangle. That's every day in practice. And a lot of what we did with running this was not so much how fancy it was. People run intricate offenses now with the spacing, which is the difference between what we did then, because of the 3-point shooting and those kind of things. But when we did this in pregame warm-ups, like when you come out, people shooting layups and they shooting jump shots. We got a coach that's standing out here, denying the ball here, making this guy go up, out, and back door. So that's our first initial move. So we're trying to hit this guy to his outside hand on the way out. So we don't want him standing receiving the ball. So as he comes out to receive the ball, we're gonna make this pass here to this guy. Okay. So when that happens, we're going to bring this 4 up to the elbow. He's coming here. And now once we make this pass to this 3 who came out, then this 5 is going to set a screen.
A back screen.
Back screen for the 2. So the 2's coming off with no defensive help below the foul line.
Gotcha.
That's what we're banking on. So when this guy cuts off,
He should be open.
there's no defensive help. And not only should he be open, assuming that he sets his guy up,
He can post up.
then he can post up.
Okay, we'll say, who would your typical 2-guard be? Who could be possibly at 2-guard?
Either guy. So that's why we had 2 big guards. It could be
Darryl Griffith.
Darryl Griffith. It could be Darryl Griffith. It could be Lancaster. It could be Milt. It could be because this other guard, for the most part, is going to be another 6'4" guard. So sometimes we have to go, instead of going directly to the 3, if he is covered, then we're going to go guard the guard. So we're going to have this guy set this guy up, come out and receive the ball. So now we're going to go guard the guard, and that's why this 4 is here, because now he's going out. Okay, so now we're going to hit him. The 5 slides over, and he's going to set the back screen for the 1. Same thing on the opposite side of the floor.
And I think one of the things that's kind of getting lost in the art of basketball right now, because of how much people are shooting a 3, like you're saying, you're posting up the 1s and the 2s.
Right.
And basically winning in the trenches.
Right.
The physicality.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it in a little bit. I was going to ask you about the nature of the physicality of the game, but what you're saying, you're posting up the 1s and 2s, which is like you're saying we have a true advantage that we know, and we're going to take advantage of that.
Right.
So is that what you're trying to say right there?
That's exactly what we're trying to say, and it was kind of created out of necessity.
I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to Scouting Report. I'm your host, Coach Tim Gray. Until next time.